She's a former senior fellow at George Washington University Center for Cyber and Homeland Security, and perhaps she can shed some light on this so-called scandal.
So, Ms. Wheeler, what's so fascinating about your work is you were extremely skeptical of the original story when it came out in 2016, and you were telling everybody at the time, this is bogus, this is nonsense, nothing to see here. So you've already hit that side, but now tell us about this Durham filing, because you've been quite critical of Durham as well.
Well, Tom mentioned a filing from Sussman overnight. And one of the things he revealed in that, which I've heard from other people, is this claim that Rodney Joffe was accessing data from the White House. All of that data precedes Trump's inauguration. So you've got Trump out there calling for these people to be put to death, when really what happened is Rodney Joffe was trying to keep Barack Obama safe from hackers. That's all it is. And that's why Trump wants these people killed. So, and Durham knows that. Durham knows that this data precedes Trump. He didn't include it in the filing. So he's got everyone all work on Fox News. John Ratcliffe, you showed him earlier. Kash Patel is the source of many of these false claims. They were both witnesses to John Durham. And Kash Patel has known about this allegation going back to December 2017, because he's the one who first asked Michael Sussman about it. Michael Sussman was honest about it back in December 2017. And Kash Patel, when he was a Homeland, the Intelligence Committee staffer, when he was working in the White House, when he was the chief of staff for DOD, he did nothing about this, because he knew that all that Rodney Joffe was doing was trying to keep the White House safe from hackers. That's what this is about.
John Heilemann.
Well, I'm just curious, Mary, like, where do you think, to the extent that you can kind of discern what the motivations are of some of these players, of Durham, for instance, and where does this go from here in the aftermath of this pseudo scandal that we're seeing?
Well, the Durham investigation is in real trouble. One of the things that, and Tom mentioned this briefly, but one of the things that Sussman revealed overnight is that Durham didn't interview, like, one of the allegations in the indictment is that Sussman was coordinating with the Hillary campaign on these Alpha Bank allegations. Back in October, Sussman was like, name the people. In October, Durham said, I don't have any people. In November, he first interviewed a Hillary staffer. He hadn't actually investigated this. We also learned recently that even though Durham and Bill Barr flew to Italy to get the phones from Joseph Mifsud, who remembers that Italian who was talking to George Papadopoulos, he never walked across DOJ to get the phones from James Baker, who is the single witness to this conversation with Michael Sussman. He didn't find out that DOJ IG had two of those phones until January. And then after he revealed that he had these phones that he should have looked for years ago, he then had to disclose that he had been told about one of these phones back in 2018, but he didn't remember it anymore. So what you've got, and those aren't the only things that Durham has had to admit that he didn't do before charging Michael Sussman. He didn't investigate how the FBI killed a story that the New York Times was going to come out with before the election, partly because of what Sussman did, which counters all of the motivation that Durham says he's working on. Durham didn't investigate that until after he had charged Sussman either. So Sussman on Friday probably is going to submit a motion to dismiss this entire indictment. And probably what last Friday's stunt was about for Durham was an attempt to preempt that, an attempt to pretend that this investigation isn't kind of post hoc, a discovery of things. For example, he didn't investigate what FBI's relationship is with Rodney Joffe before he charged Michael Sussman. He only pulled those communications when Sussman said, why don't you go find out what kind of relationship the FBI really has with Joffe? And he discovered there were thousands of communications. So Durham is very close to a position where Sussman is going to have the opportunity to say, you didn't do an investigation before you charged me. And a week before he probably is going to have to do that, this stunt comes out, and you have all these people who were witnesses who fed these conspiracy theories to Durham on the front end, who then go on Fox News and make false claims about it. And that's what this story is about. It's Kash Patel garbage in, Kash Patel garbage out, and then Trump threatening to kill people as a result. It's that simple.
Wow, that just sums it up. Marcy Wheeler, thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcy.
And
Greatly appreciate it.
the right is feasting on